Islam, Islam, Islam. Here we are today. Welcome to the Moorish Heritage and History School class. I am your host, RVBey. We also have Sister Anna Eid on today because we also have Brother Hakeem Bey. Are you there? Oh, there you are.
Yes.
Fix that. All right. All right, Brother Hakeem, how are you today?
All is well.
Yes, I know you're going to be on and share some information today, and you're not going to be on too long because you're doing what you got to do, right?
Yeah.
So what's going on?
No, I just wanted to briefly say to everyone, because I won't be able to stay on too late tonight. But I want, what I want to let people that all kinds of things is going on right now. All kinds of rumors of war. As quiet as it's kept, the war already began. The war's been going on for a little while now. The war has already begun, and by the time you and the general public know, it'll be basically over. You'll just be the adults. And so what I want to tell people, to prepare themselves, because a massive chastisement is coming. I'm telling y'all don't realize, but a massive chastisement is coming because we didn't do what we were supposed to do, and the American government and the government didn't do what it was supposed to do. And so, like the prophet said, the worst is yet to come. Those who are aware, those who want to see through what's about to come, get your mind correct. That's the bottom line. You can eat all the good foods, all the stuff that you want, but if your mind is not correct and you don't have the correct paradigm, you're not gonna be around. Primarily, you have to understand the nature of money. First, you have to understand the nature of yourself, and then you have to understand the nature of money and how money is used as a lever to control everyone's mind on the planet. It's the monkey wrench thrown into the machine. That's why nothing that we put together, organization, if money's involved, 9 times out of 10 is not going to work. Why? Because money makes people behave irrationally. There's been scientific studies. There's a whole line of marketing called neural marketing. And it studies how money, just the mere mention of money, will change your behavior. Your desire and lust for money will just totally make you a slave to your lower self. All right? What's the lower self? Lower self ain't necessarily evil or bad, but it's selfish. All it cares about is you, your happiness, and your survival, and it will do whatever for that. This is the reason why you have people, rappers, who will kill their own mother for some money. All right? So I'm telling you all now, money is a lever inserted in everyone's brain. Unless you make a conscious effort to remove it, when the money crash, guess what? You're going to crash.
You crash, right.
All right? You hear people talking about, oh, man, the money going to, I can't wait till the money crash or this or that. Or believe me, when the money crashes, since your physical body and avatar is linked to the money, when it crashes, you're going to crash. Right? It's tied up to survival mechanisms: breathing, eating, heartbeat, temperature regulation, acidity, alkalinity. All that's controlled by what's known as the lower self or the lower limbic system. And most people, 99% of the people's limbic system is controlled through money, which is inserted into the brain at a point called the nucleus accumbens. They know it. It's a whole science behind it. They know that it controls that part of the brain. And 99% of people is controlled by that. And it's linked in with your survival mechanisms. That's why I say when the money crashes, you're going to crash because it controls all survival mechanisms. Your whole body is just going to shut down.
So what? If you don't have a better understanding, so what would be the answer? I mean, I know that it's within each of us, but go ahead.
Cultivate the higher self and don't be controlled by money. Cultivate your higher self and that will effectively remove that lever called money from your brain. You can't physically reach into your brain and pull it out with your hand. What you got to do is cultivate a paradigm where you're not controlled by that, where you're not controlled by money. And then when it's shut down, your body won't shut down. If your body's linked in, if it's linked into it, when the money shuts down, you will shut down. So we're talking about like 90% of the people just gone.
Yes.
They're just shutting down. I already seen what's going to happen. I witnessed it with my own 2 eyes. I seen what was going to happen. It's going to be a crazy day. People's avatars going to shut down. Cars going to be crashing. Planes going to be falling out the sky. You're going to have to get off the surface. I was rounding people up to get them below the surface because on the surface was pure chaos. And it was only a handful that survived. You know, so I'm telling y'all now, this may be the time you may hear this. Get yourself correct.
So you're actually saying get your mind straight about these things and not be driven by the money, which most people are and have been, still are, you know, in all situations. So that's really what you're saying. Get your mind straight.
And I'm going to give y'all an example of who's not and what to study. Study what's known as the hunter-gatherer. And make sure you cultivate that mindset in your mind, and you will survive. Because remember, hunter-gatherers like the Australian Aborigines, they had that island for over 50,000 years. They seen civilizations come and go. They chose to live that way. People look at them and say, oh, they primitive and this and that. They chose to live that way. That's why they still around. You know, there's more on it. There's more in regards to it. But check out, go to secretofsecrets.info and check out those courses, Akalia 1 and Akalia 2, and you will learn how to master your own mind and how to seat your higher self on the throne. Remember, the lower self is a good servant, but it's a poor master.
Right.
And there's a reason for that. And we get into all that. So I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I'm just going to point you in the right direction. Study the hunter-gatherer mindset, understand Akalia, and how to gain full control over your mind. Because if you're not controlling your own mind, someone else is, not maybe, is. All right? So
that's true.
Get it straight.
That's true.
Get it straight. The mind is the first protocol of healing. Secondary is herbs, moringa, and all that other stuff. All right? So, you know, keep that in mind. That's all I really wanted to say. You know, we're going to go deeper. The students in the Akalia course, we're going to go even deeper. The Akalia 1 and 2 course, that's the beginning and intermediary course. Wait till y'all see the advanced lessons dealing with the limbic system. Y'all going to flip out, but most are not eligible for that. I'm just going to take the handful of students, and I'm going to be training them, and I'm going to give them packets to have so that when they call for the draft, and they're going to be sending out that draft. The draft boards are filled with officials. They're going to be sending out that letter, and they're going to tell you, look, either you go to such and such location and sign up and register and be processed for the draft, or you're going to get locked up, period. You better know how to stand when that day comes, because you only got 2 choices. Either you do as you're told. If you're going to stand against it, you better know how to stand. And if you fake the funk, believe me, they got artificial intelligence. Google's artificial intelligence. They'll know. You ain't fooling nobody. You better get it straight.
So you're saying they're going to put that, and so how would people, it would be mine then, that they would resist that particular situation?
I taught it. I told people how. I taught it in the courses. Most people don't listen. And that's going to get their behind caught up. You know what I'm saying? But those who, it's a handful. I got a handful of students. I got my children, and I'm looking to save as many as I can. And really to teach those how to save themselves using their mind. Believe me, your body's going to be taken away from you. It's like the rug swept from underneath your feet. What you going to do then? Most people ain't going to know what to do. They're going to be totally bewildered. They ain't going to know what just happened.
So,
all right, so everything's mine.
Right. So there will be some who will escape that particular situation, and there definitely will be some who will not. That happens every day.
Very, very few. I hate to say it, but it's going to be, I'm talking about like a handful out of all the millions and billions of people. Very, very few, because all of them have that level into their mind, and most don't have no control over their mind. They don't even understand their mind. They don't even understand their own body that they got. And so most are going to be victims. They've been told, they've been warned.
Oh, yeah, they've been warned. We all been warned. Now, this war, well, like you said, it's already going on. It's been a civil war going on here, for the longest time. But specifically, are you speaking of a specific war? Because I know there's wars and rumors of wars. This has already been prophesied. What do you know what exactly or close to that will be, or who it will be with?
War in heaven. This is the war in heaven spoken about. This is the war in heaven, and it said Satan and his angels were cast out of heaven because there was no more place found for them, and they came to earth with much wrath. This is the war. The war in heaven is the war for the mind. That's the war in heaven.
Yeah.
And the war in heaven is underway. It's not gonna happen. It's underway right now as I speak.
I believe that.
You know what I'm saying? So people going to be getting the results very soon. This is the war up in heaven for your mind. That's why I said this is mind control. Do you control? Ain't nothing wrong with mind control as long as you control your own mind. The problem comes in is when someone else is trying to control your mind. That's where the problem comes from. I teach mind control. I teach people how to control their own mind, not me controlling their mind. I teach them how to control their own mind. And so that's what the war in heaven is all about. We've been living a totally false paradigm to throw us off. And most 99% of people is not even aware that their perception of the world, that their paradigm of the world is totally off. It has nothing to do with the reality. They're not even aware of it. They're trying to, combat it. They don't even know they're a victim.
Of their own mind. That's right.
They don't know they're a victim. If we only knew the powers of our own mind, put it this way, there's nothing that we can't do. The only thing that stops us is our own self and our own mind and the false programs and viruses installed onto it.
Yeah. So you're saying what we know, the haven of the mind, that heaven is really your mind.
Everything.
The war in heaven. Yeah.
That's what you're saying, this whole world. Yeah, this whole world is a manifestation of the interaction of the mind with the quantum. And the quantum is everything's potential. What makes it manifest? Your mind, through observation. It's called the observer's effect. Just you observing and processing it with your mind brings it into existence. Without no minds to process it, it doesn't exist. It's like the sound of a tree falling in a forest where there's no animals, there's nothing alive. There's nothing to hear it, so there's no sound. And that's the nature of this world. This world is the result of processing, of your mind processing potential and making it manifest. It's called the observer effect in quantum physics. It's also called Schrodinger's cat. And I talk about all of this. Once it clicked. But most of us have been taught not to use our brains. We've been taught to do as we're told.
Yes.
And so it will never click.
Wow. So free your mind and the rest will follow, right? You there? Oh, I think I may have lost him. Are you there? Oh,
yeah, I'm here.
You went out for a second. Yeah, I said so free your mind and the rest will follow, right?
Exactly. That's what Morpheus said. He said, I only want to free your mind.
Right.
That's the captivity. Like they said, the physical change is taken off. It's been placed on your mind.
Yes, that the mental slavery. And then Prophet Ali said that. He said, I came to free you from your mental slavery.
Exactly. And here we are, you know, X amount of years from the time of the Prophet, and it's still shackled. It's rust locked. We got to break those locks. It's rust locked, like it says in the Problem Book, you know, from the Department of Supreme Wisdom under Elijah Muhammad. You know, the problem dealing with the rusty locks. All right, you see, so it's gonna be rough, man. Y'all better put some oil on them locks and loosen those locks up and get them locks off your brains, man. You see what I'm saying? Time is short. You know, when you oil a lock, you take the it don't just immediately just open. It takes a while. You gotta jiggle around, you gotta jiggle with it, you gotta fool with it, you gotta play with it. Y'all better start now. I'm telling you, most people gonna be caught unawares. They're gonna find themselves without a body or anything, and they ain't gonna know what happened, and they ain't not gonna know what to do.
Wow. Well, what level would they be on? They still would be mine, but it would
they can create their own world. Your mind will create its own. Your mind will create a world.
Yes.
But what world you going to create? The mind. They will tell you if you take a person and put them in an isolation tank where they can't feel nothing. The mind will create its own world because it seeks stimulation.
Right.
And so
right.
if they floating around in an isolation tank like in that movie Altered States, floating in water, can't feel nothing, no stimulation, no sensory stimulation, it will, while it's in that tank, it will create its own world. That's why in the movie Altered State, he created his own world. When they opened it up, he was half man, half beast, half whatever. It became real.
Right.
And so when that day comes, if you haven't had training, if you don't know how to create your own world, you're gonna be lost in limbo until you figure it out. See, in Matrix 5, the virtual world, we used to create. I'm used to creating my own world because Matrix 5 is a world that I created called Matrix 5. I'm used to creating worlds. My mind is already used to it. So if I wake up one morning and I don't have no body, there's no earth, there's no nothing, I create my own world. But most won't even know what happened. They won't even know what just happened. The deal is going down right now. As quiet as it's kept. I'm telling you, most people are going to be caught unaware. They're going to find themselves in a place, in a space where they don't know. They're going to be bewildered. They ain't going to know what's going on.
So basically, that's where they are now. Even in this reality that they think they're in, they're still lost. They're still asleep.
Indeed. In other words, the war is going on right now. By the time they realize that the war's on, it's going to be too late. You know what I'm saying? It's a crazy thing, man. But I've been washing my hands of the blood by doing what? By warning people, teaching classes, teaching courses, and my hand. I don't have no blood on my hand. I washed it off, and I continue to wash it off. But if you know the truth, and you know that the people out here blind, deaf, and dumb, that they're gonna surely die, and you don't speak up, then their blood will be required at your hand.
But that warning has been given to the people for a long time. And what you're actually saying is that, like, even when, and again, go back to the prophet, he said, listen, you better study, get yourself out of this mental slavery. It's basically what's being said. And if you do not, like you said when you open, you know, that it's going to get worse. So for some people, it is going to be, are you there? Yeah. All right. I said, right. And it is what? It is a great and dreadful day because it will be great for some and dreadful for others.
Exactly.
You know?
And guess who the judge is? You.
Well, that's the
Guess who the judge is on Yom Kippur Judgment Day? Be the judge.
I know. It's you. Everything will be pointed at you. You're absolutely right. That's why many are called and few are chosen. You have to choose.
Exactly. We're gonna judge ourselves based on our preconceived notions. If you was brought up and you believe that to eat a donut, if you eat a donut you're gonna go to hell, and you ate a donut during your life, guess what? When that day comes, you're going to judge yourself worthy of hell. Be careful what you believe in. Be careful of your paradigm. I'm telling you, because you're going to be the judge.
So what are they going to be sitting there? Oh, my gosh, it's this donut I ate. I shouldn't have eaten it.
Hey,
crazy
you know what I'm saying?
Like
if you believed it, it's going to happen. You're going to judge yourself according to that.
I hear you. Right.
That's why I said get your paradigm straight. Rectify what you believe in, because you're going to be judged accordingly. Most of you are going to judge yourself, and you're going to place yourself in hell by your own judgment.
Right.
You know what you did wrong. You can't fool Sophia. Sophia is a subconscious mind. Sophia is closer to you than your jugular vein, because she controls the blood that flows through your jugular vein. You can't fool her. You might fool this person. You might fool that person. But on a day, on Yom Kippur, it said that your mouth shall be sealed. Forget talking. Your mouth will be sealed, and your hands and feet shall testify against you. And that your own body will testify against you. It knows. Forget what you saying out your mouth. I'm washing my hand of the blood right now on air. You know what I'm saying? I'm washing it. And those who don't take heed, it's on you from that point on, from this point on. Period. That's how it is. No doubt.
You remind me, I always tell people when the Pope came and he was Pontius Pilate washing his hands of all this crap. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
Yes.
You know the deal. That's why them corners here wear that red cap, that short fez. You know, they know the deal because we concocted and we put together the whole Western civilization religion for them during the Renaissance.
Yes.
That's why it was the Medicis. It was the Medicis, all these wealthy Moorish families, international bankers. They financed the whole creation of the European culture. It was the international bankers, Medicis, all of them. Look them up. They were straight up Moors. It was Venetians, which come from the word Phoenicians. They financed the whole thing during the Renaissance. They told Michelangelo, all of them, they said, listen, you a sculptor? Go create a sculpture, lop off one arm, bury it in your friend's backyard for 8 or 10 years, dig it up, and say you found the ancient Greek, ancient Roman statue, and we'll pay you crazy for it.
But why would they do that?
Why did they do that?
Yeah.
The reason why the international bankers, which began with us, the reason why they chose the European to build their culture was because they wanted to reach their goal, which was fiat currency amongst the Europeans. They couldn't do it amongst us. Ancient Egypt, Babylon, they was too steeped in their ancient traditions. So they said, let's take a people who have no history, no root, and let's create one for them. And that's why they rose the power. After the Renaissance, they rose the power because the Medicis and those international bankers backed them up and financed everything they wanted to do. Expeditions, wars, this, that, whatever, exploration, they financed it.
So do you think that backfired on them, or they did what they wanted to do, and now retribution justice is coming along as well?
Exactly, because it was all part of a big, massive plan. When you look at it from the outside, it looks bad, it looks evil, it looks this, it looks that, or whatever. But we don't understand it was a part of a plan that we laid out to achieve a certain thing. And to achieve that thing, we had to create a mutated man. We had to create a whole culture for that created man, and then subject ourselves to it for a period of time in order to achieve a bigger goal. Yes.
Yeah. So why did we? So obviously we have reduced ourselves. When we talk about the Moors who did that, have reduced ourselves to a lower standard as well to even want to desire to even do that, because that's when the gold and the gifts and the this and the that was introduced. So we had to be in a lower state of serving, ourselves.
Yeah. We had to pass through. We had to pass through initiation of not only being a victim of our own lower self, but being subjected to a whole civilization built on that. And still manage to rise ourselves. Just the fact that I'm speaking to you right now, saying the things I'm saying right now, 2017, that's what they knew was going to happen. They said that civilization will push them so far, and it will bring out the God in them. Because they will realize they don't have a choice. Either they bring out the God in themselves, or they're gone.
I got you. Forced to make them changes, right?
We had to. We needed opposition. When you go to a gym, you work out with weights.
Yeah.
Weights is opposition. You're trying to lift the weight up. It's opposing you trying to pull back down. But it builds you up, right? You built up through opposition. The first chapter of Holy Quran says what? A soldier has to know his foe.
Yeah.
A soldier without no foe won't know his own power.
Right.
It was just right there in the first chapter. Why we went through this is all in the first chapter. We created a foe, and we subjected, and we placed ourselves under that foe. And then we learned our true power, the ability to not only overcome the foe, but cultivate the God in us. That was the whole purpose. How would you know that's your right hand if you didn't have a left hand to measure it against? We had to experience the opposite. We was running things. We had no inkling of anything else. You see what I'm saying? It was no white man, European over us, or any of that type of nonsense. You know what I'm saying? We was running everything. We had no idea of what it was like to be, live under our opposition. That was foreign to us. We never experienced that. But now we have. That's why the lesson says, can a devil fool a Muslim? No, not nowadays.
Right.
Because we pass through it. When they want to inoculate you against a particular disease or virus or whatever, what do? They give you a little bit of it.
Yes.
So you could build what? The resistance to it. So this is nothing more than a divine inoculation. That's all.
On a major scale.
That's all it is. Everything we experience with the European is just divine inoculation. That's all it is. A divine vaccination.
So we must come to an end as well.
Yes, but we must know how. See, everybody's born with the lower limbic system, or what's referred to the lower self. Everybody's born with that. And everybody's born with the hardware for the higher self. But guess what? You got to learn how to use that hardware, or you will never use it. People have cell phones. Cell phone, that's hardware. They got all kind of hardware in it. But the average person maybe use 50% of the ability of their cell phone. Why? Because they don't know. They don't know the other 50%. And so that's why the divine instructed me to teach those courses so that people will know otherwise and they could act and live otherwise. Unless it's trained, the higher self won't sit on the throne by itself. A person could be born with all kinds of executive abilities. That don't mean that when they're born, they could run a corporation. They have to be taught that. They have to be trained. All right? And so that's what Akali is dealing with. He's dealing with teaching and training you how to tap into that quantum computer that's inside of you. Through meditation, through all kinds of means, you could tap into it. It's there. The hardware's there. Tap into it.
Wow.
I don't mean I talk like this, I get passionate about this because of the time we in. There's no time for, pussyfooting around. Call a spade a spade. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no time for no pussyfooting around, half-stepping. Kill that. Do what you got to do or leave it alone.
Right.
That's what the divine told me. Do what you got to do or leave it alone.
Right. And that's what, and that's what needs to be done for everyone. But I think you hit it best when, people still do it. They're so in love with that. I read in one of the scriptures where they introduced the gold and the coins and the gifts and stuff like that. They're so in love with that fiat
paradigm.
That's what controls.
They don't know otherwise. Most of them don't even know otherwise to even compare it to. They have nothing to compare it to.
Right.
They don't know. They do not know otherwise. All they know is the life that we've been bred into, welfare, the crazy cycle, the crazy stuff that we've been born into. That's all we know. We really don't know otherwise. That's why when I speak to brothers and sisters, I don't care, gangbanger, whatever, anybody in the community, when I speak to them, they listen. Like they said, the sheep know the shepherd. They know the shepherd's voice. And so when I speak to them, they click. They be like, yes. I don't care who, the hardest thug, whatever. When I talk to them, it clicks. And they say, thank you, man. Because this is what I really feel. But I'm surrounded by all kinds of craziness. You know what I'm saying? I can't even function. That's why I'm pulling together a small pool of those who know what time it is and live it. Not those who just be talking. I'm fed up with people just talking and whose deeds and words, whose deeds does and actions does not match their words. Remember the Holy Quran, it says, it speak about that. Your words not matching your deeds and your actions. When your words match your deeds and actions, beautiful. I could deal with people like that because it's real. But a person who just talks and talks and talks and talks, and I'm looking at them and I can see that their deeds is not matching what they saying out their mouth, I have no respect for them. Keep it real, like they say. Keep it real. Keep it 100, and do as you should. Right. Like them young brothers speak in the community, they say, as you should. That's right. Do as you should. But first, you got to learn what it is that you should be doing. Then you can make a decision. Then you could be the judge on Judgment Day as to whether or not you did what you were supposed to do. You the judge. You're going to judge yourself. Like I said, your mouth will be sealed. Your hands and feet will testify against you. That means that all parts of your body, avatar, knows the truth, and it will testify against you on that day. And if your words match your deeds, then there's no problem. I have no problem. I'll shut my mouth on that day. I'll let my hands and feet testify against me. I don't have nothing to hide because I know the deal. Those whose words don't match their deeds, they're going to have a fit because they're not going to be able to lie out their mouth on that day. Their hands and feet are going to tell the truth. You see what I'm saying? You can't, there's no escape. You see what I'm saying? It's closer to you than your jugular vein. You can't fool it. I don't care how much you talk. You might fool some other people with that talk, but on that day when that same mouth is sealed, what you going to do then? So it's real out here. It's real out here, but, I'm in a space and a place. I use my mind in conjunction working with the elders and the ancestors and Sophia. I'm in a space and place and time right now. It don't make no difference to me. I don't need money from anybody out there, any of that. All that's been covered by Sophia, the elders and ancestors. They say, Hakeem, don't worry. We have everything vouchsafed for you. We got a 2017 car waiting for you. We got a house waiting for you, everything. But I had to be tried. I had to be tried first to see if I was sincere, to see if my words matched my deeds. And when temptation came and all kinds of hardship, if I would just drop it like a ball, like a bowling ball. And it was only because I stood firm and passed the trials and tests that I put on myself was I found worthy. So at this point, I don't care. I got the courses out there. It makes me no difference whatsoever whether a person supports and gets the course or not. It don't make me no difference. The ancestors told me, don't even worry about it. You did what you had to do. It's up to them now. Don't even think about it. Don't even worry about it from this point on. This interview I'm doing right now might be my last interview. I don't even care no more. I did what I had to do. I'm not gonna just keep speaking in circles, saying the same thing over and over and over again. It's done. That's it. I'm moving on. Simple as that. Those who's with it, I'm with it. And those who with it, those students, and I had many students come through over the years, but I could count literally on one hand those who stand firm and live in it. And those are the ones I surround myself with. I don't want to be around anyone else. I don't care how much money they got, this, that, whatever, who they think their name is, what title they put. It means nothing to me. On that day, it's going to mean nothing. What is like the elders said? Sincerity. The Moorish elders told us sincerity is everything. That's everything.
That's it.
Sincerity is everything. And so this is where
and
we
you
at
can't
now.
miss.
You can't fool it. You can't fool your own jugular vein. You can't fool your heart that beats blood through your veins every day. You can't fool that. It knows when you lying. You saying something out your mouth, and your own body's like, he's lying. You ain't fooling nobody. This is the last day. The last day of this world. This world died December 21st, 2012. It died. This is a zombie civilization. We just witnessed a zombie, and we living inside of a zombie, and we mutually supporting and sustaining a zombie. It's dead. Let it die. We support it with our paradigm. We support this zombie, and we wonder why we catching hell. We in hell, living under the rule of a zombie, and wonder why we in hell. People wake up.
So then for those who know this, all right, so just, for those who are thinking gloom and doom or whatever like that, it's really what you're speaking of is your mind. And when you go back to the zombies, I realize that when they're showing all these zombies, they really are the people. They are the zombies, and there's zombies right now as we speak in terms of, what that means. Now, so what you're saying is that as far as the gloom and doom, the world's not going to be over, but it will be over as you know it.
Right, exactly. We living in a time. The time of the world. When I say the world was destroyed December 21st, 2012. What is known as the fourth world? It was known to the Olmecs as the fourth world. I call it Matrix 4. The fourth world, Matrix 4, whose main theme or motto was a handful of sovereigns and masses of subjects. That world ended December 21st, 2012. But the average person is not even aware of it. They go to the movies, they're looking for earthquakes and tsunamis and all the stuff that happened on that day, and when it didn't happen, they say, oh, well, it wasn't true. They don't know what happened on December 21st, 2012. And like I said in the Bible, I come as a thief in the night. A thief ain't going to break into your house with tsunamis and earthquakes and stuff. He's going to come quiet, do what he got to do, and get up out of there.
So what happened was a universal or cosmological or paradigm shift type thing that actually happened.
Right. What happened was like it's like the operating system was upgraded. It's like going from Windows XP to Windows 7.
Okay.
It wasn't no big. It's not no big hoopla, but it has different functions. It has different abilities, and it's backwards compatible. Meaning that the world changed at that day. They knew that the new world that was going to come in, Matrix 5, it will be a world where not just a handful of sovereigns and masses of subjects, it will be a world where everyone's a sovereign. And the reason why they're sovereigns is because they know the deal. That's why. And so we in a different time now. We just living in a time of the decay and degradation of the old world, Matrix 4. Just like the body, when you die or make transition or however you want to call it, your body doesn't just decay immediately and just turn to dust.
Right.
There's a decay process. And if you live in a desert area, the decay process may take hundreds of years, whereas you live in a tropical region, it may happen in 2 weeks. So the body's decay is different depending on the environment. And so even though the Matrix 4 ended December 21st, 2012, it didn't just turn to dust. We living in a time of the decay process, and what they did was artificially sustain it to make you think it's still alive. That's why I call it zombie civilization, zombie economics, and zombie civilization, because it's really dead, but it's just being animated to make you believe it still exists. And we give into it. By us believing that it exists, we what? We give power to the beast.
That's right.
We keep sustaining the zombie. You see what I'm saying? All that we have to do is just wake up and realize where we at. What is going on? You know, what I'm going to be doing with the students in the days to come is that we're going to resume having mastermind meetings inside of Matrix 5. Because the reason why I do the mastermind meetings inside the virtual world, inside of Matrix 5, is because the Matrix, by understanding Matrix 5, the virtual world, you will understand exactly how this world operates, because it operates on the same principles. You see, so, you know, those who do happen to come to the course, I will invite all those who came to the course to the mastermind meetings inside Matrix 5. Like I said, Akalia 1 course, it gives you the basics, the 8 components of Akalia, and how to apply it. Meditation, how to write sigils, how to program, Tahutic writing, how to even write in such a way where you program reality. It's not rocket science. Most of the stuff I teach in the course you already know. I'm just reminding you and giving it structure, but you already know this stuff. The second course, we get into the profound aspects of life. Why are we here? What's the purpose of this whole civilization? Why did we create a civilization on the plane of soul? What's the tree of knowledge and good and evil? How do you pick and choose the timeline you are on using divination? That's a whole class. And so those who come through that, then I'm going to hit you with the advanced courses, which I was taught during this vision quest, which just ended, which deals with the limbic system, LIMBIC. Some of us may have heard about it. They really teach it in schools, and if they do, they don't teach the real deal about it. But if you get a chance to look up limbic system, and if you don't know what the limbic system is, then you definitely need to come through these courses and understand, because that's the whole key. That's like the CPU. That's like the CPU, the central processing unit of a computer. You're a computer. If you don't understand the limbic system, you don't truly know yourself. I'll say that straight up. If you, the first edict that we was given was, man, know thyself. If you don't know your limbic system, you don't even know what I'm talking about, you don't know yourself. There's no way. There's no way you could know yourself and you don't know, not only just know your limbic system, but master your limbic system, then you truly don't know yourself. You truly don't know and haven't seen your abilities yet.
And when you say limbic system, of course, it's associated with your limbs, arms, legs, you know, and extremities.
Actually, no. I mean, not directly. Most people, when they hear limbic system, they hear the word limb, and so they think in your limbs, your arms and legs, stuff like that, when actually it has no direct relation to that at all.
Oh, okay.
It's much more than that. The limbic system, remember I mentioned in the last one, the limbic system is the seat of the higher self and the lower self. It's like Jacob's ladder. Right. It's built into you. It's built into you. Your brain, your nervous system. The limbic system is the seat of the higher self and the lower self. But in order for the higher self to sit on the throne that's housed in the limbic system, it has to be trained.
Yes.
See, the lower self is already seated. It was seated from birth. You inherited it. It's there, bottom rung of a ladder. It's like the bottom of a ladder that you sit on the ground. It's there. But now, for the higher self to be seen, you got to climb that ladder called the limbic system and sit on the throne. The throne is up, let's say, it's up a ladder. You have to climb that ladder, and you have to seat yourself on that throne. It's not going to come down to you.
Wait a minute. You just reminded me of something in the Quran, going up the ladder of perfection or whatever. That's what it's mentioned in there. Chapter 5.
That's the higher self. You have to see it there. It said that this whole civilization was based on us. The reason why we're in this civilization is because we ate the fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. That's the whole purpose. That's why everything here is good and evil, yin and yang, man and woman, light and dark. Everything is duality in this civilization, in this simulation, because that's the whole lesson of the simulation. It's good and evil. It's duality. And so it said, once we took from the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, it said, lest man reach for the fruit of life, from the tree of life, and live forever. And so when it says reach for the fruit of the tree of life, it means that the fruit for the tree of life is not just going to fall out of the tree and hit you in the head or fall out the tree and go inside your mouth. Reach. You got to make an effort. When it said lest man reach for it, meaning that you have to make the effort. Reaching,
right.
You see what I'm saying? Reaching just doesn't come automatically. You have to say in your mind, I'm going to extend my limbs, your muscles get into action, you reaching. It means effort, bottom line. Meaning that you were born with the lower self, but lest you make an effort to activate and live your higher self and live forever. You see what I'm saying? Once you tap into the higher self and you sit on the throne, you can live forever if you so desire. All things is within your grasp. But if you under the lower self, then you are subject to this world. See, this world is the result of a mutated person made weak, ruling over a God because he made that God forget who he was and brought him down to his level, ruled by money. And now he has control. Here is a mutated, weaker person controlling a God, using why? Because he used technology, and that technology brought you down to his level. Now he could do whatever.
Gotcha. Careful. You gotta be real careful, man.
It's real out here. You know, the time of talk is over. Like, really, I don't even want to talk that much no more. I just want to do. And if I do talk, it'll be like General Number 7, to talk to no one except in the line of duty. That's it. From here on out, I'm just going to be talking in the line of duty. You know what I'm saying? Talk, time of talk is up. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of the talk. You know what I'm saying? You know me, I'm an Aries. I want to do.
Right.
And if I do talk, I talk afterwards about what I done did, not what I'm going to do. And never do. You know what I'm saying?
I do. That reminds me of the prophet's word where he said, you're going to gain it all back in a conflict that cannot be told in words. Because it already happened. So now you might want to talk about it, but it already happened in that, without the words. So, I hear you.
CMA said the same thing. The conflict is the inner conflict that you have to go through, that I've been going through for years, between what I know and what this world preaches, and how you live. How you live it. In other words, you know now, but how are you going to live? How do you plan to live what you know now in a world where you're surrounded by 99% of the people doing otherwise? You constantly like a fish swimming upstream. Constantly. So
is that like being in this world but not of it?
Exactly. You in it. But you try to be of it. You see what I'm saying? Because you know that 90% of it is wicked. you know 90% of it is just doomed. So it's like, why integrate into a burning house? You see the house is on fire, and you trying to integrate into it?
Yeah, I hear you.
You know what I'm saying?
But see, right there, there's many people who just don't believe that the house is on fire. You know what I mean?
They're not even
wrong.
It's on fire. They're trying to integrate into it. They buying stocks and bonds like it's going to be around that long. I don't buy no stocks, no bonds, because I don't have that much faith in it.
Right.
I don't believe it's going to be around 10, 15 more years.
That's right.
So if you buy stocks and bonds that mature in 15 years or whatever case may be, then you must have 15 years worth of faith in the system. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Everything is real. Everything is just like real because we can't fool no more. It's like it's here. That conflict cannot be told in words. All that's here now. Judgment Day. What is your judgment? That's the question. How do you judge? How do you judge yourself? What is your judgment of yourself? You can't judge another person. On Judgment Day, everybody's going to judge themselves, and you're going to deem yourself either worthy for hell or worthy for paradise. And the paradise, you're going to make it yourself with your own mind.
And you create your own reality is what you're saying. Creating your own reality. Interesting.
Imagine heaven and hell. There's two folders on my computer desktop. One folder was heaven, one folder was hell. All the things that happened in my whole life that was good, I put it into the heaven folder. All the things that I experienced that I just thought was bad or evil or experienced or whatever, I put that into the hell folder. On Judgment Day, you're going to decide which folder you're going to open up and experience. That's all heaven is. Heaven, when you hear all through my life, my eyes is like a camera. I'm just gathering up all the good things, putting it in that folder. All the good things I experienced in this life, those are going to be my bricks to build paradise afterwards. But if you're not building up in this life, once this body's taken away from you, you're going to be in limbo. You ain't going to know what to do. It's just going to be triple darkness. You won't even realize you even exist. That's why I'm trying to get brothers and sisters to wake up now and prepare their minds now so that when your body's taken away from you, like the rug being taken away underneath your feet, you can still stand. You know where to stand. You know how to stand. Our people, like what it said, my people perish for lack of what? Knowledge. Not lack of fiat, not lack of this, not lack of that, lack of knowledge. Our people perish because they don't know themselves.
Yep.
I didn't even mean to stay on this long. My apologies, but
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed listening to you, and we're going to get you next time. Traverse safely, and we'll talk with you soon. Thank you so much for your information.
Sounds good.
Oh, but lastly, if people are interested in your course, it's the Secrets of Secrets that they would go to.
Secret of Secrets. The second secret is plural. .info, not .com. .info.
Okay.
And you'll see the course, you'll see the meditations, you'll see all that stuff, the sigils. I created a software called Sigil Creator where you create your own sigils made out of different materials, marble, gold, silver, whatever your mind loves. And so all that's there on that page.
So basically, I just want to say this, and when you do create these sigils, not from what I've seen on your site, but my mind is saying that what the energy and the thought that you put into it is what it actually represents, whether someone knows that or not, because that's all there is energy anyway.
Right. The sigils are program. Is programming. It's actually a program. Once you create the sigil, that's a program.
Okay.
And that's why you have businesses out here that have logos. Those are programs. Every time you see that particular logo, your subconscious mind is running that program.
I got
you. See what I'm saying? So now you might as well create your own logo, i.e. sigil, and control your own mind through these sigils. The sigils are symbols, and the symbols are machine code language for the mind, for the subconscious mind. It understands that immediately. When you go to the website, you're going to see the universal sigil on the book cover, and on the different sigils, you'll see what's called the universal sigil. That one symbol, if I took every book ever written by man on earth, I could fit into that one symbol.
I got you.
And I explain exactly how that works and show exactly how that particular works. If a picture's worth 1,000 words, a sigil's worth infinite words.
Right.
All right. So I teach all that in the first. All that's taught in the first course. How to write sigils. You could take a sigil that's one sentence long or 5 paragraphs long and convert that whole composition into a sigil. You could do different sigils. A sigil for fear. I created a sigil not to hit a deer, not to hit deer, like driving. I was in Pennsylvania. There were so many deer crossing the road, especially at night. I didn't want to hit no deer, so I wrote a sigil for it. I programmed that into reality, and guess what? I didn't hit a deer. You see what I'm saying? I mean, shoot, there was herds going across the road at times. Herds. And I ain't hit near one. All right? So I'm just showing y'all that we live in a simulation, and the simulation is programmable. And Akalia is one of those ways in which you're able to program the simulation.
All right.
There may be other ways. All right? So that's it. That's more or less it. Secrets.info. If you want to get on board, get on board. Like I said, my job is just to put it out there. At that point, people are to judge and decide for themselves, what they want to do at that point. It don't make me no difference. I'm not trying to convert nobody. I'm not looking for followers. None of that. Matter of fact, I turn away more people than I deal with. I don't have no time. I don't have no patience. I don't even want to deal with people who are fake, false, and ignorant. If they come and they want to learn, cool. Other than that, I will have nothing to do with you. I prefer it that way.
I call that closing in. I call that closing in the circle. Tightening up the circle. You know what I mean? Because when you really think about it, the reality is that there's still some that are zombies that have not freed themselves. Listen, they have not done, like you said. It's been said we perish for lack of knowledge. Don't take the time to study. Their minds are still zombic, and then these times, if they come around or whatever like that, that's very detrimental to your own welfare.
It is. It's very detrimental because especially those who are governed or ruled by money. Man, money makes people act totally rational. You get yourself in trouble, especially dealing with our people, and they don't have knowledge of self, and they controlled by money, and you dealing with them with money. You ask them for it.
You are.
You asking for it. You're gonna have problem. Why do you think all these organizations fell? And people started acting irrational. Trace it back. At the base of it is money. That's why they say money is the root of all evil.
Yes.
It's a science behind that, man. The divine showed me all of that, man. They showed me the exact phraseology, the exact words, the exact parts of the brain to locate it. It's not a mystery. Everything I'm saying, they know. They know. They study it. They study you, and they know it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So let me just end on that note. I'll see y'all on the other side. You know what I'm saying?
Peace. All right, brother. Peace. Well, thank you for your time. All right. We'll talk to you soon. All right, peace.
Peace.
All right. I can't get into the studio here. And I'm supposed to be in the studio. All right. It's interesting for trying to look at the boards, but I can't get in to the studio for some reason. But interesting how what we're just dealing with is communication, is communicating what you know, is communicating what communicating or speaking, and it's interesting how, the brother is saying, look, I'm not even going to talk no more, I'm only going to speak, when necessary or whatever to those in like mind and like space. And that's why the prophet said, look, if you think you're with the group of Moors and you don't think they're doing right, then leave and go to another group. Simple as that. And when I say group, I just mean associates, people that you're hanging with. So we're talking about, wow, I can't get into the studio because I can't remember the passcode, and it won't let me in. On it. We're talking about communications, right? So let's look at this. Today is May 3rd, and today is. Hold on a moment. I'm going to share something with you in reference to communications, and that is that Mercury, that energy Mercury emanated here onto this earth plane, if you will, where we are, in its strength and in its angles, has been in retrograde, right? Well, it's been in retrograde from April the 9th until today, May the 3rd. It's coming out of retrograde. Now, that means communications are more direct as opposed to, appearing to not be direct. Let's put it that way, because things are always moving, and so naturally, hold on, everybody, I'm just trying to, I did that, the past that I don't have. I want to go in. I think it's Internet Explorer. I really do. Just bear with me, listeners, because it's got to be Internet Explorer. That's the British browser. As a matter of fact, let me take this opportunity to tell you guys that we told you that I am going to be moving the site, RVBey Publications, onto a new upgraded software platform because it's been there since 2008, and I have to do that. Right now, the browser that really does not work very well with it at all is Internet. Don't even try to go on the Internet because it really kind of screws it up. Use Firefox. I found to be good, and it more displays what it is that we're intending to display better than Internet Explorer. But when we do take it off of and put it on the new software platform, then instead of this grandfathered one, it won't matter too much at that time. But until then, do that, and it'll make it easier. But I want to go back to this communication and the fact that today communication came direct, and it has been in Mercury, which rules communication. Mercury rules the third house of communication, and that is one of the houses. Yeah, it was good. Let's see. One of the houses. Just bear with me. Just bear with me 1 second, you guys. Let's see what we can get there. We are going to get into. Yes. The Internet's crazy. Don't use Internet Explorer. I mean, it's got some issues. Well, if you have a updated operating system like we were speaking of a few minutes ago, and Internet Explorer is not real good with that. So I'm in, and I see what is going on. Thank you for muting. And we wanted to talk about the fact that Mercury has been in retrograde. In fact, it's been in retrograde quite a bit. And I think that, I got that. I think that we also have Anna E. back on the line. Are you there, Sister Anna E?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. Oh, terrific. Okay. I know you were kind of listening in and rolling too. But we wanted to talk about, as we just talked about communication and knowing and all of the things. Like now, how one receives information that's given is what they, like it's been said, what you believe. If you believe something, and I know we have said this, there's an article on the religious controversy page. It's called Fiat, what's it called? Fiat and Dislogistic Families. Yeah, read it. Because some of what was expressed with the brother and the manner in which he was expressing these facts that we have been in this false system of, you know how we talk about people today, that's related to today, and where people say, well, I'm going to go and I'm going to sue these people and get some money. You know what I'm talking about? And how we say, no, this is not about, this is not about that. So you relate what's being said. How you relate to it depends on where you are, but you can relate that. So for those who may not have been able to relate this. If you think you're going in to some of these administrative venues that are attacking you and costing you and, violating, and you're going to sue them and get money, then that would be the mindset where you will be totally lost, not just because of what is happening, going to happen, but because of what actually is real, because that's not real. So there you would fit into that place. So it's not about so much the doom and the gloom and the earth is going to end. It's just that the energy paradigm is not going to shift. It already has. It already has. And we always talked about how, some of the people around you think they've lost their mind. That's a part of it. They're still asleep. They haven't done what? Wake up. And they have faith, and they prop up that which is falling. So some of our people still, without knowledge, are still going to accept offers made by a fake, or that's the word, a fiction, a fictitious reality. But then, you make your own reality. So it is whatever you think it is and whatever you believe, and also it is based on what you do not know. And that's why the prophet said, study, study, study. For real, because this is where that it's not like test. It's always a test, but it's not a test in that, of what you know and how you apply it. So I don't know if you want to make a comment on that or not, Sister Annie.
No.
Okay. Well, let's go into what we wanted to talk about, how direct Mercury coming direct, ruling communications, ruling speaking, ruling thinking, ruling your ability to concentrate, to study, to then speak what is on your mind. Because remember, first you think it. When you speak it, you give it fertilizer. But when you write it, you sealed it. So that goes to sigils, by the way, just saying, and symbols and signs and symbols, also called sigils. That goes to that, because first you think it. Now, you've been around people who, you just saw something happen. What they saw was something totally different. You know what I'm saying? So it's a matter of their reality that they've created in your own mind, because, man, this what? Mind. So all of this, and even if it seems gloomy, because it really isn't, it's all a matter of your mind and how and where and what you know and how you assimilate yourself in all of this, because we are to be in this world, but you're not really of it. Because to me, I've always said this is a testing ground, that when you make me lie down in the green pastures, it is a testing ground of the strengthening of who you are intrinsically and eternally, not necessarily the body. That's why it says man is not the body, right? Or the flesh, right? All right, because it's not. It's your mind, and you create your reality. So, you know, when we put too much into, and I have to agree, when we put too much into this system that is propped up and keep propping it up as if it's some real or whatever, then this is where we are really not in touch with reality. But then again, what's in touch with reality? That's like saying, what's logic? You know, they do courses on logic. Well, logic is, it's sort of questionable because, you know, it's a matter of what is logical in your mind. Some people do things that you say are totally illogical, but in their mind it's not illogical because it's based on where they're thinking and how they're thinking as to whether it's really illogical or not. Or how. And do you have a comment on that at all, Annie, at this time? Because I got to just take 1 second away. 1 second. Let me see. All right. Sorry, everyone. Apologize for that. Because I know Sister Annie is in and out doing some things. But so I trust that, you know, you don't, that you really get to what is being said here and what has been said, and because it's very real. When we say like we just talked about or just hit the news, I believe it was yesterday, and you know, we don't get the news. We don't get what's really real. We don't really get the truth. And that's one of the things that Brother said earlier on this show. We really don't get what the truth is. What we get is what they want you to know in the news. That's all we get. And so when it said that, you know, these controversies are already going on, they are. So now, yesterday it said that the U.S.A was going to shut down. Well, they shut down before, but I bet you had to get up the next day and you still had to eat, you still had to clothe yourself, you still had to do whatever you had to do like that. So you need to start thinking about what does that really mean to you, and how that would affect you that they did, or where are you in that whole thought of that, like, you know, how will it affect your life, you know, because the mentioning of, I forgot the name of the group that he was saying, or the Aboriginal group of people who live off of the land naturally, who didn't invest or vest into, you know, those other, the financial fiat system. It didn't matter. You can see people come and people go, you know. So it's a matter of us recognizing and that the so-called Judgment Day, you know, and everybody talks about that. Like, oh, it's already here. Oh, it's coming. Well, it's always here. That's why it's love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Because justice or judgment is always being done at all times in everything you do. And it's about, you know, like, so therefore, if there's a supposed Judgment Day, which there really isn't, but there is, but there isn't, it's just a massive, you know, consciousness regarding it. I really like the fact, because it's true, nobody's judging you. I mean, people do judge based on their limited information, because who knows you better than you? How? I don't care how close someone is to you. So the judgment is you judging yourself. Now, that's interesting. Can you take a second and think about some of the things that people do to put judgment on you or on others? And take a second and judge yourself. And then write down what you think in regards to who you are and how you would judge yourself. Because that then, if you're forced to do that, if you were forced to do that, or if you're in a situation where it's almost like isolation in a way, because it's the mind, really, And you had to do that and had to look at yourself and make that judgment. That's a part of you. That would be a good exercise for you to learn who you are because, again, you know what you do, what you've done, what you've undone, what you need to do, etc. like that. So do that as an exercise and see, because it would be such a great exercise to really look at yourself. And it is a difficult thing to do because most people do not want to look at themselves, especially if it's something that is not, quote, I'll say, quote, unquote, a good thing. Like I know we can all think of times when we'll say, well, I could have done that different, or I ought to have done that different. Now, I realize there's some people that go through this entire existence and never, ever rectify or reflect. See, this is called reflection. And man's business is what? About reflection. So that's what this exercise would do. It would have you reflect on you, honestly, and be honest with yourself. And even those things that may come up, pop up, that you never told anybody or don't want anyone to know, those are the things that you do know. So think about it. And then also think about what you can do, if you could, if you can, to undo them. But you can't really undo something, but, however, you can think about it and accept the reality of it. You know, and if you need to say, wow, forgive me for that, or if you do or if you don't, it doesn't matter, because really you need to give yourself first before you can ask for anyone to forgive you. You got to forgive you first. That's the real deal. But a lot of times, if we don't want to face reflection, I'm going to use reflection because that's the word, really. We'll always blame everything that happens on the next guy or someone else or whatever like that. That's a sure telltale sign that you are not able to reflect. Now, conversely, if you're able to look at a person and a being and see because reflection, they're reflecting really themselves onto others, and you're able to see them, but they don't see them, and you're still able to accept them for who they are, even in whatever that quote-unquote action, imperfection, whatever you want to call it, is, then that's a very good thing as well, because that shows that you have grown to be able to accept the imperfections in others, right? Because you're not the judge. In the end, we are the judge of our own activity. So it starts with the 5 principles. Starts with love. Yes, you must love yourself and others. Truth, which brings peace. Love and truth brings peace. Freedom is an inherent chaser to love, truth, and peace. And then justice is done. So when we can reflect on ourselves and on others, because now when you can see others in their quote-unquote imperfections, we'll just use that word, and you can, and then the statement comes that others can see you, or will see you, more plainly when you do not see yourself. That's a very powerful statement. I used to say, others see you more plainly than you see yourself. No. That was early on, and I realized it. No, it says that's not what it says. It says others see you more plainly when you don't see yourself. So, again, do that reflection of self, because you are the ultimate judge of all things regarding you, not anyone else. You are. And you will be, and you always are, and you always have been. And then what you will do is create your own reality. You will create your world, if you will, regardless to where you are and what vessel you're in. And when I say vessel, I don't mean the ship on the sea, okay? All right, let's get that straight, because that's another use of these terms. What body or what avatar or what form that you come in. So with that, this show we don't usually have callers call in. So therefore, I think that I'm going to, and what time is it, 9 o'clock? If Sister Annie doesn't want to add anything, then I think that we're going to make this a early night, because there's a lot of things to think about that was just shared with us, and we have a lot to think about. And remember, no one is to, yes, go ahead.
No, I don't have anything to share. This, it's already been a lot put on the table.
Yeah, sure.
Not just tonight, but over the years.
Feeling kind of like what the brother said. Oh, well, okay. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it anymore because we got to be about it, right?
Right.
We feel that way sometimes, but we move forward with sharing of information and inspiration that comes. Like, for instance, we could say when the headlines hit and it says the U.S. is going to shut down, were we really surprised?
Absolutely not.
No. Matter of fact, if anything, we will almost enjoy. We were almost like, wow, there it is. But what did we also realize? And we said there's a whole lot of people that does not have no idea of what all that means.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. And it actually, this entire broadcast yesterday and everything that we've always talked about is actually chapter 1 of Quran.
Yes. Thank you.
People would just study chapter 1 and that man is mine, then that's it.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Read it. Yeah. Read it and realize in it, too, what does it say? What is the seed? See, we take the seed and we take it down to the lower physical level. And, the seed is the sperm, the seed is the seed. No, the seed is the thought. Don't confound the words. The seed is a thought. It's right in chapter 1. And as we said earlier, your seed, your thought, that's the seed. Your words, that's the fertilizer. Right? And then your deed, or if you write it, you sealed it. And surely it shall be done. That is why man is mine. And what? And you say it all the time. And you create your own reality with your thoughts.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And what's being said tonight, too, earlier, that may seem like it's doom. It is not that. It is just that that's the real deal. And if you don't know what's going on, then, yeah, you know, you may be in a place you don't want to be in. But man will what? Surely, man is mine. Find, get this so clear now, find himself where he can solve his problems best. And guess what? You will be there by yourself. In terms of solving the problem, because it's all in your mind. Yes. It is. So, you create your own reality.
Did you just call me?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Are you talking? No, I just.
All right.
You muted your phone. You
were just calling me.
Yeah, you muted your phone again. That's what you did.
I did.
I write it because I knew that you were coming in on that when we were like, as you heard, and that we will find ourselves, no matter where you are, it's not over because, there is eternal life. Absolutely. That's the whole point of it, is that heaven is the haven of your mind. We've been saying that. It's been said. It's in the heaven is in your mind. So you're going to find yourself in the place where you can solve your problems best, yes, but you're going to find yourself the judge of yourself. You're going to find yourself getting out and creating whatever new reality you need to create, because all that stuff that we were just talking about, you think of all the things that you've done and be your own judge, because you are your own judge. That all is going to come back. That's all going to be right in your face, forced in your face, in your mind, because man is mind. And then at that point, as it was spoken, your mind isn't going to shut down. You're going to begin creating again. And if you think so less of yourself, well, maybe you'll come back as I don't know. Maybe you'll envision yourself, because it's really about the envision. It's about that as being in the sewer amongst the rats seeking for food. You may feel that way, and if you feel that way or you think that way, whether you know it or not, that's where you'll be. And that, too, others see you more plainly when you don't see yourself. There's some people that are standing up right that are actually acting out as if that's the situation. Do you know what I'm saying? They don't see it, but they are.
Yeah.
Right. They don't know what they're permeating out to others. They don't know what the reflection is, because people, reflect back what you give. But first, you are you have to do your own reflection. Man's business is about reflection. And have no fear, because you're not going to die. You're going to be forced to make changes. It's wild.
It's wild. So it is about 10 after 9. So are we going to make this like a short thing?
Yes, a lot to think about. Lot to take in on this one. Yes. We can call this an evening and wish everyone well. And
all
we'll
right,
see you
and we will see
next time.
you back here on Tuesday at 9:30 for Principles of Nationality in Action.
Mm-hmm.
Peace and love to everyone.
Can I make an announcement? I will be at the Delaware class this Friday doing the class there. I've been asked as a guest to come there, so maybe some in the listening earshot or whatever this broadcast will be there. And then on June the 2nd.
You won't?
No, I will be. I will be.
Oh,
Friday.
You will be. All right.
Will be. I just wanted to make that announcement. I got to put it on the site, but yes, this Friday. I think it's 6:30 at Delaware at the House of Ram. And then, again on June 2nd, both you and I will be there, but that's kind of like I'll hold out on that one. So otherwise than that, we'll see you back here, as you said, on Tuesday, then on this broadcast. Tuesday. All right. Peace and love.
All righty. All right, peace and love, and thank you, everyone, for joining.
Mm-hmm.
Wake up, everybody.